Welcome to the round table for Red Dirt D&D Curse of the Clockwork City. I am Brooke Bullock, joined by the inestimable
Detective Kiri Hester. I like mine.
Say
Detective Kiri Hester, because Brooke did like some kind of boom boom, like Law and Order SVU.
I'm sure that got edited out.
No, he doesn't.
He never
edit
edits
this.
the round tables.
Well, he did it beforehand, so yes, that was probably good.
Oh, and whose voice is that?
Michael Cross.
Michael Cross.
Here it
Very
is.
nice, very nice, very nice. There's at least 3 of us in the room.
I'm the special victim, Connor Shenold.
I think that makes Johnny Ice Cube.
Murderer.
Or Ice-T. Ice-T.
That makes Johnny the unit.
I'm going to switch shows here. I have always been and shall always be Johnny Payne.
Woo!
Yay.
Live long and prosper.
Not in my head. He's Ice-T now.
Man, what you talking about, Ice-T?
Oh my goodness. Woo.
Off to a great start.
We're off to a fantastic start, talking about everything except for the podcast that we're all in.
Yes.
Why would we talk about that?
Episodes. This one's a special one. We only talk about 3 episodes.
Yeah.
Episodes 27 through 29.
Woohoo! We don't even have a good excuse for why we don't have 3. I mean, why we only have 3 to talk about.
Didn't we?
Oh, it wasn't like thunder or lightning or floods or anything like that.
Like the ones we're about to record?
Like the ones we're about to record right now.
What's
Yes.
hills sound like in this old farmer's building?
Oh, it's amazingly loud.
Great, I can't wait.
Amazing.
Should come to the recordings great.
Everybody talk faster.
We should use the layout of this building for a dungeon crawl because it's got fantastic possibilities. I mean, there's an elevator shaft. We still don't know where it goes.
There's 3 bathrooms. It'd be great.
And you know, they never have bathrooms in maps.
Except
Except in ours. We
Except
had
in
it.
ours.
Except for ours. You know, woohoo!
Or-
That's right.
Johnny went to use the bathroom.
poop-covered kobold.
I had to invent them because we had to find a way to get the kobold in. So,
Yeah. That poor. I'm going to release him.
woohoo! We did cover a lot though in 27 through 20. No, strike that.
And the last 3 that we did.
In the last 3 that we did,
27
27 through 29, math for the English teacher. So we finally got to some action.
We did.
Dun dun dun.
We did. So 26 led us up to, was that leading us up to the top of the warehouse?
Yeah. And
27th, we hear a voice down there.
Yes. And then we explored.
Yes. And so we want to go through that, who we saw down there.
Okay, I think I did it.
It's not a secret, everybody. It was Renard.
It's always Renard.
It's always Renard.
It's
You
always
know,
Renard.
The funny thing is, when we started with Renard, it was Connor's voice,
Yes.
and so I always kind of equate Renard with Connor.
Aw.
But then it's all from there on out. It always got played by Brooke. So it was
And
just,
acted out as August.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Statted out as August.
there we go. And
Yeah.
Brooke did a poor job of trying to grab that Connor essence that he gave Renard with that Augie thing, you know, which was super annoying for August E.
So
Graymore, right?
annoying. It's annoying for Johnny. It reminds me of some other bad guy.
Augie, my
Johnny,
friend,
Johnny,
what are you
Johnny.
doing here? Oh, nice touch.
Yeah.
Nice touch. How many? Maybe Connor as well. I don't know, but and Michael, you too. Names in movies, do you guys like get associated? You know, with obviously here's Johnny and things like that. Is it a problem? Like Kiri and I have more unique names that maybe
Oh,
haven't.
Brooke,
hit.
every time I talk about you, I picture Brooke Shields.
Ah, very well. Thank you very much. You know, between me and Mike, never mind.
I was thinking Worms, Michael. You're eating worms.
You're eating maggots, Michael.
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
That's what I always get.
No, I do notice in movies and TV shows when they suddenly start saying someone's name a whole lot, it's like, oh, we're about to have a flashback to a child, and we're not going to know who that character is until someone says their name that we just heard 8 times in 10 minutes.
There we go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's very telling.
yeah.
Yeah, notably, I'm in the one movie.
In the one movie.
The one movie
Yeah.
where the
Yes.
name came from.
There's when the
Beastmaster.
Yeah.
I'm also the kind of guy who can read a book without the he said, she said, he said, she
Right.
said during like a back and forth dialogue. Every line. We get it.
Yes.
Parentheses closed, that person stopped talking. Parentheses started, new person talking. And there's only 2 people in the room. I understand the scene.
We got it.
Yep. He said, as he smiled with his bottom teeth.
It's always really fun. I used to teach the Count of Monte Cristo, and Alexandre Dumas was paid not by the word like Dickens, but by the line. And so he always has a lot of very repetitive dialogue. And so he'll have two characters and they'll say, hey, are you going to the Duke's party? Which Duke are you talking about? Oh, I'm talking about Duke
Of Earl.
Ellington. And he's like, Duke Ellington? Isn't that the man who just last week? Yes, that is the man that just it's a lot of very repetitive dialogue because he was paid by the line.
Or that's just the French.
It's because he was paid by the line. But yeah, it's similarly, with those little twips with dialogue.
Yeah. We call it a twip.
Those little tweaks and twerks.
What happened next? Brooke, after we ran downstairs.
Well,
And
you got paranoid the bad guy was going to go get away while you turned your back.
so we fought. There was more than one bad guy there.
There was.
Who did disappear. Who
Yeah.
turned her back.
I didn't care about him.
Every-
Well, Johnny's been in a campaign before where the bad guy always
Got away.
says his name 3 times and then laughs and disappears.
I know.
Over and over and over.
So he's just so paranoid. So you've got to watch over
So
him.
it's like,
Make sure you
don't let that
Do
happen
not
this time.
look
Tie him up
away.
with the special rope I found in the back. Oh, that was rope of disappearance. It made the guy you tied up disappear. Something.
I would have loved the fact if you'd come back and he disappeared and you go, you were supposed to be watching him. And I said, I did watch him. I watched him get up and walk out that door.
Except for I won't keep saying Dr. Cross. Anyway,
don't know either.
That's a bit. Except for Dr. Elias Stone has the high wisdom, so
Yes, he
he can
would.
figure that out.
Yeah.
Although, I love the scene wherever, and behind the scenes, he goes over to help out with one of the thugs and then realizes, I probably shouldn't be in this situation.
I am not qualified.
I need to be nowhere near any kind of hand-to-hand combat. That's not supposed to be happening.
Shocking Graph serves you well, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did like when Kiri and Johnny were having trouble with their guy, and I threw my dagger. I really wanted that.
Oh, that was
One
I
time.
wanted so I wanted
okay,
so
Johnny.
it was just 2 hit points. I wanted so much to fudge it just a little bit, just for the effect of like skunk.
I wasn't saying the one
Rule of
time.
cool,
Like,
Brooke.
I know.
Rude.
I wasn't saying the one time, the one time. No, I meant just one of the things about playing a fighter or a paladin. I did this in a Pathfinder game where I was a paladin for ages.
Well, that's
either
different.
I either swing and kill 2 things at once with that swing, or I'm just feigning them with my blade because I'm missing. It's one or the other.
Yeah.
There's never like a nice in between. It's one or the other.
Graze is now. I don't like it. It's where you never miss. You're always hitting something.
Yes. I'm bringing it down, Michael. Hold on. I'm jerking around with my microphone, everybody.
Well, you got to get it done now. And I'm
Yeah.
He was doing an Indiana Jones thing. It was like over there and trapping people, swinging back over to the other
Just
side of the
driving
room.
by in a car. Every time I do something with this mic, Michael Cross grabs the controls.
I know. I'm sitting here.
Ready to
I got to
go.
pot it down, pot it up.
Okay, so what were we talking about?
Graze. I don't like it.
Graze.
Grace. I don't know. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. I like that either I can swing at you. If I swing at you and hit you, I can spin it around and butt you with the tail end of it also. Get you with the back end.
But I do like that
with
part
the back
of it.
end. Or I can, it's like, you missed, check again. It's like those movies where they swing and nothing happens and then the guy just slowly falls into 2 pieces.
Yeah.
But it's more like the guy just slowly gets a little scratch on his face.
Well, so you didn't notice that there was actually a little cut, basically, yeah.
Yeah.
And I liked Graze because of that you got this, and I also like the halberd's cleave thing. That I don't see why you can't use both of those weapons, not at the same time. But
Yeah, right.
I mean, there's nothing in 5e that says you can't carry a glaive and a halberd, and five javelins, and I mean.
Encumbrance rules, right?
What
are
like, here's the word I'm hearing every time y'all say it. I like Graze a lot, but it kind of went downhill after the plane crash episode. I'm hearing Graze. See, Connor gets it.
Oh, I don't
Back to you,
watch-
Kiri.
I don't watch that.
I know.
All my students do, though.
Kiri watches Star Wars. How's that been going since the last recording?
Oh, I haven't watched anymore.
Are you hung up on Falcon?
I mean, you guys are making fun of me about that, but
No.
No, we would not.
I recently read a book that I really liked, but that has nothing to do with the podcast. I would love to talk about the podcast. 3 of us slid down the ladder really cool, but Dr. Stone went down real slow.
If by really
Safety
cool, you
first.
meant one person going tonk, tonk, tonk.
That was
tonk,
my favorite.
tonk,
I
tonk.
loved putting that in. I loved like step down. Safety first, kids. I mean, he's a doctor and he's in his late 40s.
I'm always curious if like I roll to stealth and like I get a high number, but I'm still with what I'm wearing and carrying. It's
Ching,
like
ching,
you rolled a
ching,
30,
ching.
but it's still ching, ching, ching.
Yeah.
You're quiet, but all your gear is rumbling all around on your body.
Which comes into play later on as well when we send Connor
Yes.
very far
Yeah.
ahead of us.
That's very, very true. How did you guys like the mechanic, the setup of there being someone has carved a tunnel out of the middle of the city wall?
I
That was
love
really
that.
interesting.
Yeah.
I love that. Like it's a way to get around that no one knew about. It's bootlegger tunnels.
Right.
You say someone, I say something.
Dun dun dun.
Giant purple worm.
But yeah, it was not good intentions.
Yeah. Yeah. It did seem to be pretty good crafts work.
Like Dwarven craft work? Good.
Yes. If we go back and listen,
Of course it was.
the alcoves are the alcoves that like drop off at certain locations. Those seem much more roughly hewn. Like those don't have the craftsmanship that the tunnel in the middle does.
So, do we know why there would? So, what do we know about the wall? I actually did not realize that there was a wall around the city. I guess I
Yeah.
should have known because we entered a gate.
We entered
Yeah.
the gate. Yep.
It's
yep.
just, you
back
know,
in episode 1. That's a
run-of-the-mill
long. That's a while,
walled-
long time ago to
city.
remember. So
the typical walled city.
Yeah, that, and you probably have a wall between like where you would like constitute like middle class, high class,
Right.
lower
But so does
class.
the wall go? So does the wall predate? I don't want to say predate city. Obviously, that would be silly.
Oh,
but
the
does
fall
it-
of magic. Is the wall pre or post fall of magic?
Oh yeah, very good, very good. So I think the wall has been extended as the city has grown, but where you guys are at, they're on the dock side, right? That's one of the initial. That's kind of the initial landing spot, so to speak, and the city grew out from there, kind of in Bridgetown, that older part of the city. That wall has been around for a long time, probably maybe 25 years after the city got founded, the wall started being built, you know?
How long ago was the city founded?
So, and then
A
we're
few
what,
hundred years
about
ago.
200 years ago?
Yeah,
Okay,
and then
so-
100 years ago we have the
Fall of Magic.
Right.
That only came back about 50 years.
And then
ago?
about 50 years
Yeah.
ago, it kind of recovers and comes back.
Yeah.
So,
So this is the.
And
one of
I've been in
original
the
buildings.
city for 60 years.
yeah.
Yeah, I know.
I've
Who
been there for
originally built the wall?
55.
I would suppose just the folks of the town, right? Which could have been a conglomerate of people, but it's mostly humans and half elves.
Because it
Mostly.
seems to me, I just don't know if you build a tunnel through a wall after the wall's been built. Seems like the tunnel would have to be part of the design.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, you're risking collapse of the wall itself.
Here's what I
mean,
counter argument. One, if this seems dwarvish in nature, dwarves are excellent craftsmen.
Right.
Number two, this wall can be built with magic. Or the tunnel, I feel like, could be, because it is
True.
pre-fall of magic.
Also true.
So they could, we're using some magic here.
On the bottom of the wall could have those arches
Yeah.
for like drainage, and this was just one of them.
Yeah.
So I could believe it. I've played plenty of Nancy Drew PC games. You can put a hidden hallway anywhere.
Yes, you
True
can.
that.
Yes, you can.
True that.
Our flashback to the map we had of the fishery, of the warehouse or whatever, and it was just
No bathroom on that map.
no, there was no bathroom there at the fishery. But again, the quality of the people living there, they may have just
just go in
leaned
the
out the
ocean.
window, right? So,
No, they had the buckets in the corners.
the buckets in the courthouse.
Anyway, the map of the fishery. I'm sorry I interrupted
There
you.
was the stairs going down at the secret entrance or whatever. Michael did mention, those are either really steep stairs or there's something wrong with that map.
Yes.
Because there wasn't the extension that
I'm
we
trying to
needed.
figure out where'd that go? Who made this? Like a fun house at a fairgrounds. What the heck? How do you make this thing? And the whole idea behind the fishery was the way it was kind of almost sunk into.
Yes.
I love that idea.
Split level and broken a little bit. Yeah.
Like part of it's actually falling into the ocean.
I feel like my Sims feel that way when I build a house sometimes. And they're like, how am I supposed to use these stairs, Kiri? How am I supposed to use these stairs? You put a plant right here.
Yeah, that's how I felt about everything I built at Minecraft. So we and I did love the fact that this Greeley guy
Yes.
we almost killed him, and then one of his lackeys just throws him into a secret door, but I'm not sure how secret it really was.
So Brooke's learning how to save his NPCs from me.
Build escape pods.
Smoke bomb. And
He's like, I can't have Greeley be killed here. His minion shoves him into a secret passage.
There you go.
And the other thing was, it was good that he didn't get killed, because then we wouldn't have anything to follow.
Mm-hmm.
We did actually get a chance. Okay, we can follow his blood trail,
Right.
for at least to where we need to go.
Yeah.
But how much of it did you have to create because we went totally foobar on this thing?
So, for the most part, the whole warehouse battle with Greeley and Reynard were just coming off the cuff.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, really?
Yeah, that
I
was
figured.
not necessarily
I thought
the
we were-
location and time and
Yeah.
and
When
such
you listen
for that.
back and edit, you can not hear it in Brooke's voice, but you can hear that this was not supposed to be.
And I think we talked about it a little bit on the round table, that this interaction was supposed to happen, just not here.
Yeah.
But not now.
Yeah. And so, but it works out. It works out pretty well.
Because Brooke at first was like, guys, there's nothing in this warehouse.
I know.
And then we were like, but there's
We're
a
gonna-
roof access.
There's a roof
Why
access.
would you build a door here if we're not supposed to open it?
And so wherever this meeting between Reynard and Greeley was supposed to happen, Brooke pretty quickly had to be like, they're not letting this go.
I don't
All
know.
right.
Check off.
I know that did not
Check
get in
off
the
the
show.
door.
I know that did not get in the show where he said, by the way, there is absolutely nothing in this warehouse
Yeah.
you care about. I don't remember if I put it in the
I feel like it
outtakes.
was in the outtakes.
So our patrons know about
Yeah.
it. That Brooke had actually warned all of us, there is nothing in this warehouse, and we didn't give up.
That's right.
We were
Yeah.
like, if there's a roof access to a building that we must go down because we are adventurers.
And it's real fun what players will kind of focus on. I'm
It's
sure
crazy.
Brooke will back that up of us just, but there's a roof access.
Well, and it definitely feels very, because I know that Connor and I both really enjoy these types of video games. This like very Breath of the Wild, like, oh, okay, I'll just dip in here real quick, see if there are any collectibles, do all those kinds of things, and then sometimes you find yourself, oh, okay, like this is a great one in a certain wizard-themed video game. There is one where you feel like
Wizardry?
we don't need to give
Was it
them
Rhyme
free
with Fairy Daughter?
advertising.
Yeah.
We don't need to give them free advertising.
I'm trying to figure out which wizard theme one
But
it
there's
is.
I know what it is,
there's a
but-
plot line where you think you're just buying a cute little shop, and then they're like, oh yeah, go get this, like, there's this little collectible in this trunk back here, and you go and open the trunk, and you find yourself in this fun house of horrors that you cannot escape for like 3 hours.
Dun, dun, dun.
And so many people I've talked to have found that quest line, like, they think, oh, I'm just gonna do this one really quick before I go to bed, and then they're stuck
no.
there
Yeah.
Yeah.
for hours.
That sounds like a fun game. What's it called?
I'm not giving them free advertising.
It has nothing to do with this podcast either. Harry Potter. It was
But
Harry Potter.
Similarly, we go down the trap, like we have been given a trap door.
Yeah.
Let's just dip in real quick and see if there's anything interesting in there. And so then, Brooke moves things around.
And Brooke knew it was like create a whole glaive warehouse, or we just
Like it would
one.
have been so easy for Brooke
There's
to like
nothing
have
in
us
this
go
warehouse
down
except
there.
apparently a ton of glaives.
It would have been so easy for him to just say, yeah, go ahead and investigate it, and
Yeah.
like maybe give us a couple potions or like something like that. But and then kind of like push us towards the
Wherever it is
sow,
Wherever it was.
the
Yeah.
soiled
Yeah.
sow.
Yeah.
But that he was like, we're just gonna, well, it's fine. We'll just move this plot here. It doesn't
Yeah.
super matter.
Yeah.
true.
Doesn't. There is no room. There is no door B. I think that is
Yeah.
still, and I think Brooke takes that to heart. It's one of the things that I love about how Brooke is DMing, is the fact that we're just moving everything around.
Yeah.
We're still on the quest. We just have added new things that work, and I've been loving it. So I love the fact that Greeley did get away. and then we had to go chase him
Yeah.
down.
Yeah, and the way you guys tracked him was phenomenal. It was really great. With Connor moving ahead, Dr. Stone, or I should say Sable moving ahead.
Yeah.
Dr. Stone knowing that the 2 humans in the group need light, but also using that bullseye lantern to shutter it so that it doesn't totally blow Sable's cover. Inspiration, I think, was given to Sable to help him out with some silence just in case he needed it. And I don't know if you've used it yet, but
I don't think so.
It's only good for an hour.
yeah.
okay.
But then
Yeah.
and you track down. And speaking of side quests, instead of getting diverted by any of the little alcoves, the blood trail inadvertently kind of keeps you on the breadcrumbs,
Yeah.
so to speak.
It's like I knew I had wounded him enough that he should definitely be bleeding.
Yeah.
And like he might have had something to staunch it, but I like that you waited at least until he got into like the main area.
Yeah.
Before we actually lost the blood trail.
Yeah. And that was him, of course, thinking, behind locked doors, I'll have a moment of safety where I can pause, do this thing, and then the blood stops,
Yeah,
right?
and we had to hurry, which is I think one of the problems we did try to deal with Reynard. A lot.
Oh yeah, we skipped over that whole
Yeah, it was
bit.
the last time. Yeah, where we did the crushing of the.
Yeah.
And that was so great. Like, there were so many different ways that could have played, and I love the tag team that happened between Moxie and August. Of we're going to basically, kind of karma
Yeah.
can get
I'm
you.
gonna mess him up, and she's gonna send him home.
Yeah.
It did make me think while we were doing it the whole time. It made me think of Men in Black, like we're zapping them
Yeah.
with our little pocket, our little
flashy thing?
Yeah.
Johnny, was it narrative, or or you were thinking mechanical and statistical? Like, once the suggestion starts, August did a fantastic job of staying out of Reynard's field of vision.
So August doesn't really quite get magic, and he thought that
He thinks Moxie's just really persuasive.
it needed to be distraction free, and so that's why he quickly grabbed the gloves, did what he did with those, and then stayed behind him, so he couldn't see him. And then once he saw the magic was done, it was like, yeah, buddy, just go ahead and go home. Go back to go to the office.
Pulling back the curtain, if you had been in field of vision, I was going to give him a bonus to his roll just from the willpower of like,
pulling back the curtain and metagaming, I was watching Kiri to make sure she wasn't casting any spells that would jack with concentration. Or taking any big hits, because the spell's concentration.
Oh, well, we're done here in the dungeon.
Yeah. So, but surely
very
he's home
nice.
by now. Yeah, or to the.
Yeah, he's probably been discovered at this point.
I just showed my hand to the DM. Damn it.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that would be interesting. I mean, it's not mechanically, you don't know. It's not listed in the game. But, so, suggestion, he does whatever, for the next 8 hours, he tries to do whatever it is you suggest.
Unless it threatens his life.
Right. Well, yes.
Yeah.
We walk up a cliff or anything, but if you suggest something, that spell ends, and it actually says the spell ends when he
Accomplishes
completes
it.
the task.
But it has concentration.
No, I know that.
Yeah,
No, the question is though, because the spell ends, and we do know, we've always talked about in Magic, you pretty much know when your spell has ended.
Yes.
So you would actually know
If he's
when
successful.
he's accomplished his task. So if you go, oh, that's just ended.
Renard just made it.
Renard just busted himself.
Or he's dead. Either of which is good for me.
Win-win.
He's out of the way. But I'm wondering. So, I mean, it's something you might think about in the next couple episodes if we. And yeah, I don't think you've been injured or any way.
No, we're just walking behind Connor for a
I've been
solid
keeping an
episode
eye
and a
on him,
half.
like, sitting here like the struggle in my head, not August. Do I
you
freak
did
out
actually take
and metagame
damage.
this?
Well,
Yeah.
we did have a fight during these episodes,
Yeah.
but I mean, you mostly hung back for quite some time.
I'm
during
at
it.
24 out of 27 hit points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is suggestion concentration?
So it is concentration, but here's the weird part. Is it you have to concentrate while you're casting the spell and giving the orders?
No, you have to concentrate for the
You have to
entire.
concentrate for the
period of
entire.
spell. Well, wait a minute. That can't be right either.
Yeah.
That seems a
Let's
little.
Google this.
Let's check this out because
Okay.
the only reason I say that is
Doobity-doo,
because
looking up
saying
stuff.
you have to do concentration for 8 hours and not do any other concentration spells, that's a lot to ask.
Suggestion?
Yeah.
Okay, you select a course of activity described
but
in.
is it concentration? That's the
It is
question.
concentration up to 8 hours.
Yeah, see, that's...
Yeah, but if the task is completed in 45 minutes, you don't have to
Correct.
concentrate for 8
Correct.
hours. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the
So she
idea
would
that-
know. She would know when her mind was more at ease and she was
Exactly.
free to think.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. You would know when it ends because, the fact that you can't cast fairy fire, you can't cast. There's so many concentration spells, and 5e was the
wild.
first edition to do
Well,
that whole
I will
concentration
say
thing.
there are a lot of concentration spells, and that was one thing, if you'll remember, that annoys me about druids. I love druids. I play druids all the
Yes.
time, but so many of their spells are concentration.
Yeah.
Bardic spells, the spells that I have, that's, I think, the only concentration spell that I have.
Oh, that's nice.
And most uses of suggestion that I could think of, it usually, like, it lasts 8 hours.
But most-
it's
yeah.
not going to take someone 8 hours to do your suggestion.
Unless your suggestion is walk for 8 hours.
Yeah.
Stand here for the next 8 hours.
Yeah, but I think you're right. I think for him to go to the precinct and to turn himself in, I mean, we're not. Maybe an hour at most.
Well, we're at the docks. He has to walk back to the Citadel, right? Is that where?
or get a
Croft
ride to
is?
the Citadel.
So I'm saying if he's walking, it should take him an hour and a half, 2 hours, because he does have to get all the way across town and north a little bit. If we're using the same city map,
But he could also get a ride.
he could also get a ride, because that does exist in this game.
Yeah.
And there might be stations like,
We specifically
centers,
told
towers.
him
You could pass in the
to.
guard.
go
Oh,
to
to be
Commander
supervisor.
Croft.
Yes,
Yeah.
you did
Because
say
remember,
to the
I
supervisor.
asked if we felt like she was on our side
That's
enough.
right. That's
An
right.
underling guard with a horse could be like, "Where are you going, sir?" And he takes his horse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
But that's
yes.
I think that's really interesting. So he's gone to turn himself in, basically, which I love the idea of that. I think adding that as a
He has been told to confess his worst crimes.
And he's high as a kite with
Yeah.
which is
drugs
not-
all over his
which is-
face.
I love that idea
know.
because basically that's a laundry list that we've already know, not just what he's doing
Yeah,
right now.
it doesn't rely on me having confessed to murder.
Yeah.
If
Like,
he confesses his sins, does he confess? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Me and Michael and Brooke were all in on this. I mean, does he name drop?
Does
That's
he
up
name
to you,
drop
Brooklyn.
other things?
That is up to you, Mr.
No, I
Bullock.
think that he does. In fact, actually setting you up is part of setting
Yeah.
up August.
Yeah.
Is part of the crimes that
There
he's
you
gonna
go,
have to
Brooke.
confess to.
Write this.
it depends on how many bad crimes he's done.
Yeah.
Does that
All
fall
I have
into
to say
worst
is this.
crimes?
Yeah.
August
Yuri
is
did
wearing-
say
Wait,
Did you
confess to your
say
worst
worst crimes or all your crimes?
I said worst.
Worst crimes.
Worst crimes.
Yep.
so
betraying
if
the
he's done a
guard,
lot of
yeah.
murder, it's gonna probably.
August is wearing his gloves on his belt, and that's all that Johnny cares about.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
but I'm wondering if the gloves. I mean, it's not just a one and done. You get one pair of
Right.
gloves and that's it.
But
It's a point. No, it's
Yeah,
it's,
yeah.
it's
The
like,
principle.
It's like whenever you join, the highest thing you could get is your service rifle or these bars or
Yeah.
the flag. It's in the guard. It's these gloves.
Yeah.
And these gloves are with you until the day you die, whether you're in the guard anymore or not, unless you're dishonorably discharged, which August was because of the scandal.
Yeah.
August kept his, and they all hate him for that. So then August took the man who hates it the most gloves away from him.
But if you
It's
lose your
just
gloves, you
principle.
can get new gloves.
I understand. The
Yeah,
man's not
okay.
going to run around
Sure.
gloveless and his fingers get cold at
Right.
night. August is happy that
You've got
his service
gloves.
gloves, that his service gloves
Yeah.
are in his possession.
Oh, I know. I love
Yeah.
it.
That's what it
I
is.
love
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
And in fact, that,
I understand he's going to get more pair of gloves.
yeah.
Yeah.
And also he's walking in though. He's walking into Croft without his gloves.
Yeah.
Well,
Dishonored.
And she
Yeah.
was the one who let you keep yours. Like she
understands the importance of gloves.
Yeah, it's like she knew it was her message of like
Oh.
something's fishy,
Well,
but I got to go by the evidence.
And if
she'll
you
get the
really
message.
want to go full English major on this, gloves are frequently symbols of deception and hiding things. Think of Elsa and Hans and Frozen, right?
Think of starting a duel.
And in specifically the guards' gloves, I believe have been described as white.
Yes.
So then we have this
Are they
this
pure
color
white?
symbolism of
They are pure
purity
white. His are bloody now.
and cleanliness, and we will see the blood on your hands. That kind of a thing. You cannot deceive us because we will see the blood on your hands. And so for August to kind of take that, there's layers there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and think like the analog military where it's keep your boots
Yeah.
polished at all times.
Yes.
No, it's keep your gloves clean.
Yeah, I love it. I
Yeah.
love it.
And his are blood stained out.
And
with his
so,
own
so
blood.
hopefully he's going to go confess that he set August up and then name his
I mean, he will,
Conspirators.
as long as it doesn't lead to his death and or we
That's fine.
do
It can
him
lead to
damage.
his death.
Well, it might lead to his death later when he confesses his crime and gets sentenced, but that will not. Yes. but
Yeah.
As long as it doesn't lead to him getting stronger and coming back more powerful.
I've never ever figured that he was going to be that.
No.
He was a weasel. He was he was Grim of Wormtongue.
Like,
He may be a
was
pawn.
never-
As a pawn in a
He's a
bigger
pawn.
game.
It's like
Never.
I am very curious and interested to see like the quote unquote consequences of this. not
Yeah, we'll
necessarily-
definitely be picking up a tabloid in a
Yeah.
couple days.
Yeah.
Newspaper
like,
boy.
what actually comes about from this.
I will be.
Extra here, all about a
think-
city god busted.
Well,
but
here's the thing, and here's the
Gloveless
thing.
guard.
I love you guys so
And here's
much.
the
I'm
thing.
just sitting over here smiling like a Cheshire cat. I love you
taking
guys
notes.
so much.
Here's the thing as well. If we hear nothing about this, then that tells us something as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
also
If that is being covered up, that these things
Well,
are
my thing is, next time I
continually-
walk through a populated area of the city and there's a couple of guards around, some usually nod at me and some usually glare. What's it
Yeah.
gonna be now?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you already know that you had allies in the. You already had
Oh, yeah.
allies in this. So does your, even if they cover it up, does your ally count increase and your
Well,
enemy count decrease?
I'm sure Logan's gonna give me a big hug and a bottle of whiskey, and I don't know what
The question is, where does
Douglas Earl.
Steven land?
Steven is always going to land on the side that listen, here's if I can write Steven here. Steven took this job because he wants to settle down with Melody. Or Arya. Sorry,
Arya.
I got my girls mixed up.
Mel's
Arya.
there.
And he needs a stable, respectable, bona fide job. And so he looked up to the guards as like these things because he wouldn't have, like, unless you're involved in it, he's not seeing the dirty cops.
Okay, yeah.
There's
and
probably
so
a particular guard that he thought was, respectable and looked up to
maybe.
August. You agree.
And so he
Bonafide.
he took this.
bona fide.
He's gonna be bona fide. So he took this job, and maybe he's trying to save up so he can,
Yeah.
have a life with Arya.
I love it.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
love it. We
So
are,
Steven's gonna land on the side that gives him honor, but money also.
Yeah, I think that all of us have been fairly good about making sure that these NPCs have these extra characters, these extra dimensions that don't always come with NPCs.
Yeah.
I like
Either
the
way,
idea
good
of
or
like
bad.
if I die, I could play Logan or Douglas.
And I'm working
Or
on
someone
that
even
right
different
now. I've
other
got
than
about
that.
3 characters that I've got NPCs that I'm going to bring in soon that are
Nice.
that could be just like you guys have your characters that could. Minthra.
Connor come back as a
Brooke would
sultry
never let me
dark
play
elf.
Rhapsody. She's way too powerful.
You know,
we would have to cut
maybe-
Rhapsody off at the knees. We'd have to really give her some disadvantage for her age.
She could be rusty if she's been,
Maybe,
chilling
that's
out
it.
for a while.
Who's the
you know?
little druggy girl that worked?
Harmony.
Harmony.
Yes.
Oh,
You could be Harmony.
No,
Pumped
Melody.
up.
Harmony's the one with the annoying
Harmony,
voice.
Melody, Allegro,
Arya.
Bravado, Bellissimo.
As the cast, as the siren song gets bigger, she hires more people. She's like,
She's good out of Italian.
I
musical
love the
terms.
fact that maybe those aren't their real names.
No, they're
those,
not.
Those are the
because
names.
these are
that-
all these are all
Yes.
women who
Ding, ding,
needed
ding.
somewhere else to be. They needed new identities. So we just suggest.
Yeah.
It's a halfway cat house.
So
Don't say anything
weird.
mean things about your hovel on the roof.
Except then,
I'm gonna.
do you
I'm
have
gonna.
a hot plate? Is really what I'm wondering.
he does.
A hot plate.
He doesn't need
It's
to.
a stove pipe coming out of the sirens that he just puts a
Oh, that's right. We did decide this is on the roof.
Yeah,
It's on the
he's
roof
on
of
the
the
roof of
siren.
my
Yeah.
house.
Yeah, on the roof of the bar.
I love that idea. I love that idea.
Living in a shack.
But we follow Greeley down these tunnels.
Yes.
There
And-
is a portcullis.
Oh, by the way, did you notice the editing?
Go on.
Okay, so no one's gonna notice except for the people that are sitting at the table. Because because Brooke kept on calling it portcullis.
I totally noticed.
And
So
so I actually managed to go in there, edit everybody who said portcullis, and took out the so it was portcullis.
Portcullis.
I totally noticed it happened. Blah 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 portcullis, and I was like, how did Michael Cross is a genie made me sound so smart
I-
instead of Okie.
Because here's the thing. I've worked in news and
He's
I've
fact-checking
worked in
you.
I've worked in broadcasting, and let me tell
He's
you,
got a resume
there-
himself.
like the one time I'm watching one of our local channels in Oklahoma City. I won't say which one. Channel 4.
9.
Channel 4. And the poor lady. I mean, if she was it was Saturday, there were storms. She was trying to cover what was going on. So she wasn't a weather person. She was just a desk person who was talking about damage and stuff. And she is new to Oklahoma and said there was damage in Tahlequah. And I thought, she's gonna
Poor
get so many
thing.
phone calls because I mean, and they're not nice. I've worked in television broadcasting.
Yeah.
They're not nice people.
The people who call in?
Yeah, when you mispronounce things like that, I'm like, well, dude,
Yeah.
that was an honest mistake from
Yeah.
someone who does not.
She didn't grow up here, guys.
Michael,
Yeah.
could you get Carrie's copy of Star Wars and edit Falcon to Falcon?
Yeah, that would honestly be super helpful.
Yes. Come on, everybody aboard the Falcon.
It's
like the
it's not
broadcast
Harrison's voice. It's your voice. It's just Falcon.
It's like the broadcast version whenever they have a cuss word.
Yes.
Forget you, man. Forget you. So whenever
The
you said that,
portcullis.
yeah. So I managed to change that because otherwise people they're gonna say things about that. So
The
I
internet
managed
is
to change
mean,
that.
so they would have said
And
something.
or they would think that the word is portcullis, which it's not.
Yeah.
We're here. The word
And
is
also because we
portcullis.
did also say portcullis and other things, and I'm like, okay, that also gets kind of confusing. So I wanted to make sure it was across the board the same. But we get to the portcullis.
The portcullis, which is the great thing at the front of castles with the pointy things that go into the ground. Because
It's another
So we're at
gate.
the gate.
yeah,
It's a gate.
So we're at the gate. Yeah.
Yeah.
it's just there was also like, I don't know.
Take it away, Brooke.
There you go. I enjoyed putting the sound together for the portcullis. That was kind of fun. I had some good sound with that.
Yeah.
Are you like tripping up Brooke now that I have blind sight?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that was nice.
I was like, wait a minute.
That took a
They
little
were-
bit of editing too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Oh, we went all the way through that before.
yeah,
we would.
Brooke,
We did.
Brooke had actually attacked, and then Connor said, "Well, by the way."
Yeah.
And I think you were going to kind of let it slide, but you did say it, and then Brooke went, "Well, okay, if I
I
check
got
my
hit
rolls."
really bad, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I would have known.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so you did not get the advantage on the second one. So the first one was it was like a 19
A
and an
19,
18.
18, like,
It was
yeah.
an incredible roll anyway, just or regular. So, but the other one did not hit, and I've told that one of my characters now has blind sight, and I had to tell Aiden when we do the Red Dirt Outlaws. I
Yeah.
said, just to let you know that I have blind sight. I mean, it's a good thing to let your DMs know because they'll
Yeah.
want to surprise you if they can. And there was no way these invisible guys would have been able to sneak up on
Yeah.
you.
Yep.
Great.
So now
great
you
job.
know to hit Connor with range.
That's
There
right.
you go.
Range.
Yeah.
Stay
There
more
you go.
than 10 feet away from him.
Metagame. It's DM versus players.
But we did walk into, first off, a whole bunch of spiders.
Yeah, you guys come down the stairs and everything's going really well, but of course that distance closes, that of keeping
Yeah.
the silence, keeping the loud group away from Sable. That closes as they come down to the doorway. You've positioned yourself, Sable has positioned himself over against a wall, but there's enough noise
Yeah.
that the two guys that were, pulling back the curtain, two guys basically with their spider minions are hanging out in that room, waiting for, you, and Sable overhears them say like, "Shh, what was that? Here they come." As August makes noise coming down the stairs, scraping his glaive along the wall, and then releases them. Rolled 18 and 19 on those guys to hit you, but couldn't roll diddly squat on 6 spiders. They come storming out of this room, and they all just make a beeline for the open doorway at an angle, and August E. Graymore just, I guess, is kind of realistic. They just run right by Sable, who's up against the wall by the door.
They're not going to sense him. By the way, did you hear the voices that were going on in the other room?
The little shap, shap, shap.
Yeah, that was Soundly, who is now our sponsor for our music and sound effects management.
Ooh, nice.
And
Fantastic.
So Soundly, if you want
Talk
to do
about
editing
Soundly,
music-
go.
Yeah. So it is. I have been trying to find a program that will basically. I've got probably 200 gigabytes or something like that of music and sound effects.
Yeah.
And I need a way to, I guess, control it, to organize it, and to be able to immediately put it into Audition so that I can put it into these sounds and stuff like that. Well, Soundly has gracefully said that they are going to sponsor us because we're just a nonprofit podcast. So
Sweet.
they are sponsors, and within that, you can take voices. I type in, "Hey, did you what they said?" Until they see us or
Yeah,
something
yeah.
like that. And so I type that in, and I have a character say that, and have them whisper it.
No way.
And so and I had them say that. I had them do the. Wait, did you hear that?
Yes.
I had them
yes.
say that, and I had them say when they do the touch, they say some kind of arcane language and touch themselves. So I typed in, because I did a healing touch. I spelt it backwards, and had them say it, so it sounds like this gibberish.
Shitoring.
Yeah, and that was what I used for that. Soundly allows you to do that, and then put that right into Audition, and so that way.
So those were not stock sounds you listed. That's
Right.
amazing.
Yeah. So Soundly, if anybody's doing anything, go check Soundly. That's getsoundly.com. Absolutely love them, and we are so excited to have them as a
Yes.
sponsor here. So,
Woo.
yeah.
Very
Anyway.
good. Hell, man, that's exciting. So yeah, then we have kind of our first big combat of that session with the spiders,
Yeah.
and then the two guys, and they pair off. You guys the party doesn't realize. No surprise, the rogue is in trouble in the
Yeah.
other room for a moment.
Sable suffers in silence.
Yeah.
Well, someone did whistle.
I can't see anything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
without the
August is
light
also
being
I'm,
there.
I'm blind, but
Blinded.
also it's dark and I'm human.
Well, he got spat on.
and
by-
behind a door, and you got spat on with
But
poison.
didn't we say there were torches all around this room?
Yeah,
this,
there
this
were.
part is lit.
Yes, the lobby
So,
is lit. Yeah.
So we're in a part now that is actually lit, and but I did we have decided there are flanking rules in this.
Yeah.
Which that changes everything.
It does.
Especially because I realized as I was listening to Wayfinder Legends, I think flanking only gives you a +2, correct?
In Pathfinder.
In Pathfinder.
Yeah.
Whereas, see, I think that's one of the reasons why Aiden and I never really liked flanking as a rule for 5e, because in 5e, flanking gives you advantage.
Correct.
And advantage is the equivalent of +5. So are you really wanting to give that to your players, that you give them a +5
On
to hit?
PF2, you don't crit on a 20. You crit if you hit 10 points higher than the max you have to
In
hit.
Pathfinder.
And that +2 can put you at that 10 points
True.
more.
I'm just,
Yeah.
if
It's way more easy to crit in that game than it is in
Yeah,
this one. With
I'm just saying
advantage.
if you would also, you would also crit easier if you're getting a +5.
Yeah.
That's a huge bonus. That's why Aiden and I usually don't do flanking. But when you said this is going to be flanking in this game, do it. I mean, when you guys were writing,
Yes,
Oh, yeah,
yes.
for
you've got
sure do it.
flanking,
Right?
do
And
it.
it speeds
Yeah.
up combat.
Yeah.
And it moves the board around.
And it does. It
doesn't-
makes you
yeah.
have to move.
I'm going to
you-
stand here and swing till this one falls down, and then go to the other one and swing till that one
Yeah.
falls down. Yeah, you move it around.
It allows you to change, especially if you have a skirmisher like our rogue who is going to try to move around to get the best angle they possibly can.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you dodged. I'm sorry that
That's okay.
I singed your eyebrows. It's okay.
Oh, he gets apology for your AoE accidents.
But do we?
You got apology.
Campaign 1? No,
You did.
never.
I felt
Never.
really bad about that for the
Thunder.
entire
know.
game.
That's right.
I was just a
Blast
simple
or whatever
rogue
it is.
climbing
So
a
much- so much
statue,
so she had
trying
to
to
use
pluck out his gem eyes.
So much so
And it
she had to use
starts.
an excuse this time. I don't think she would have done the AoE this time, except for she lost a little bit of wisdom.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But it
We
was
all got
especially
bit by those
when you've got a
spiders.
rogue, though, a rogue or a barbarian, either one of them, it's okay to put them in the AoE.
Yeah, especially as I gain higher levels and can actually have a.
Well, and I knew that it was a dex
Yeah.
save. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the dice tell the story because the guy right in front of you fails his.
And the other two
And then the other two are okay, presumably because they ducked down behind that guy. You know, Sable definitely ducked down behind the guy that was near him.
Good old meat shield.
Like you glance over at Moxie, she's taking a swig. It's like, oh crap!
Well, hey, I've seen this trick.
And so Sable ducks, and the other guy's like, "Oh, we're ducking, okay." Also,
He goes down. Oh, he's gonna try to get underneath my guard. No, you won't. He ducks down then. Whoosh.
But yeah,
Fire
such a
blast.
cool spell. Such a cool spell.
And you flavored it really, really well.
Yeah.
It's so easy to read it and go, oh, that's instantly the bar trick of
Yeah.
alcohol.
And
Because
we
we've
did-
seen it. We've seen her do it before,
Yeah.
just on a smaller scale.
Again, only our patrons know this because we put it in the outtakes. So explain one of the realizations that you had about this spell.
Oh, that I can only do it once?
Right. Well, no, it's not an unusual thing to figure out. I mean,
Yeah.
No. And it made so much sense. And I would also argue that if I were the DM looking at that spell, I would also argue that if like a player cast it on themselves and they maybe didn't get the opportunity to use it, right? That if they try to talk, they also would, because you're holding the oil in
Yeah.
your mouth. That's the flammable part.
Yeah.
So I would also have made that argument, but I just fired it off.
A
So.
bard who couldn't talk for 8 hours. That'd be very interesting.
Well, and the
Face
thing,
of our party, and they can't talk.
Yeah.
but like I think action economy wise, you definitely could do it as like you could either do it all in one action because the casting takes an action and then the breathing is a bonus action.
Yeah.
Or you could, if I did a healing word and cast this spell, and so then next time I could do the breathing as a bonus action and cast another spell because I didn't cast a spell, I just breathed.
True. And what is it that so the spell has you do some oil, right?
Yeah, I flavored it to like 100 proof.
Oh, yeah. It's like Everclear or Bacardi 151.
Yeah.
Bacardi 151.
One thing I know
days.
is definitely
The good old
flammable.
days.
But I was thinking what would be neat is if you played it, and this I wouldn't say you should do this, but if I was another character trying to come up with this, maybe something like an oil packet that you kept in the cheek, so that when it's time, you pull it out and bite into it, and then.
Like they have in the fish bowl next to the register at certain stores.
The little
We all get it, but
packets
Michael.
of-
Good job, Michael.
We're proud of you.
But yeah, so we leave Dr. Stone,
We'll tell you off the air.
Please do.
Dr. Stone and August to just fight spiders. August can't see the spiders. He's gonna fight them anyway. We love it.
I crushed those.
You
I
did.
just went stomping and swinging
brutal.
everywhere. My next
And-
character is going to be a halfling barbarian.
And you figured out the one thing that it is true about 5e fighters is that being blind isn't really,
Yeah.
or actually fighting with disadvantage for a 5e fighter, even at 4th level, is not as big of a
I
disadvantage.
mean, I rolled 17 twice.
Yeah.
With
It's not the
disadvantage.
end of the world.
You're plus what?
Oh no, I missed.
Plus 6 or
Glaze.
7. I mean,
Glaze.
Glaive.
Graze.
Glaive.
Graven.
Graven.
Graze.
Graze. Graze.
Grace.
Yes. But even when you do roll low, you've got what, plus or 6 or plus 7 against most things at
Oh, yeah.
this level.
And these
are
little
easy, yeah.
spiders
Those spiders
aren't
were
wearing
easy. Like having
spider
eyes. Those were-
armor.
Yeah.
Yes.
That'd be cool though. Can you
Thank God
imagine
for
like
no
being
spider armor.
like the graves of their legs?
That'd be
So,
cute.
so we finally get through. It's not hard. I mean, I actually thought the cultists were almost a little difficult to take down. I thought,
Yeah.
they were good high level, especially when it was just. Although I did think you said at the very beginning of the fight, if you don't take these 2 down by yourself, I'm going to be very disappointed. Technically, he did kill both of them.
Yeah.
I have.
You loosened them up.
Yeah, I set one on
and gave
fire,
another target.
and I tried to punch him.
Yeah.
I wasn't successful. I tried.
I really held my own in that, and I'm proud of myself.
Yeah, I thought
Yeah.
that was fantastic, and I think he did a fantastic job. We did end up taking them down. I did like the funny moments of tell me where Greeley is. We don't use the names here. You said it's in the outtakes. Oh, tall guy, got with tattoos. Oh, Larry.
Excuse me.
Yeah, but taking them down was good. Then we got to explore.
We investigated the haunted mansion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love that we split the party.
Yeah.
Yes. Not too far distant this time,
Yeah, it
but
wasn't too bad.
yeah, one of you guys went down the T, the base of the T in this hallway to explore down there a little bit. A library with a few creepy things in it.
Yeah. But unused. And then we get to the kitchen. Or not the kitchen, the dining room.
Yes.
Which was the only place that really looked kept, and what I'm thinking is, so this isn't a theory, and you can start typing if you want, Brooke. My theory is that they, like Greeley came down and said, we have to go, some people are coming and they're going to bust us down here. So they hightailed it out, basically taking a few expensive things from the bar, but the dining room, but some of these were already kind of, they didn't go to the library. That wasn't a big thing that you would go to.
Yeah.
So, but they just recently left. And of course we've got some chests to explore, but yeah. So,
Oh, right, yeah.
now my thought is that they just, Greeley ran down and said, two guys, you guys watch and kill these guys if you can, but we got to book it out of here.
King Julian, I'm a sacrifice.
Yeah. And that other room was almost more like a parlor, sort of,
Yeah.
with the bar and the rug that was there. So Connor was so pleased that I didn't disappoint him, because in the
you.
corner fireplace.
I was like, there's got to be something about this fireplace. It hasn't been used.
Yeah. I love the finding the secret door. I love Kiri going, I think it must have been while you were hearing the description that you heard bar and thought, oh, that's something I got to do. Because then you kept on going, there's something I needed to do. And then, oh, the bar.
Well, so what had happened was especially in these kinds of situations, you guys are doing a great job. I didn't feel like because like Johnny gave me grief about it. Moxie, you just standing there. You guys are doing, you guys were doing fine. You didn't need my help. I was really trying to listen hard and like see if I could connect some dots here.
Yeah.
And so, time came and Brooke was like, Kiri, are you really standing there? Or you're like, maybe you're going with Connor, or maybe you're going with Sable into the parlor. And I was like, yeah, sure, okay. And I go in there, and I think, it just was, some of us have better audio processing powers than others. And so eventually it clicked, and I was like, oh, okay, that actually might be something that I specifically, Brooke might give me some extra information on that the other characters might
Well,
not.
that's what I love. I love the fact that you brought in your character,
Yes.
what I already know,
Yes.
if there's liquor here.
Right.
And
Is it good?
yeah.
Because I would know.
Yeah, she would.
Is this top shelf or is this well?
Yeah.
And then on all the realization that all the top shelf stuff seems to have been taken away. Again, to my theory, that they left in a hurry. They grabbed what they could that would be most expensive, or something that, something someone takes pride in. Don't forget the 50-year-old scotch that,
Right. They took the 1958 Merlot. They
Yeah.
left the Franzia.
Yeah. The Stoloknoya vodka.
Grab all the even number wines. Even year wines.
We did find the grate, got that moved out of the way, and we find some, is it a ramp going down or stairs going down?
Yeah, it was a ramp, like
Ramp going down.
the back of the
Fireplace.
the back of the fireplace, slides away, and there's this ramp that kind of curves down into the darkness.
Just like in Goonies.
Yeah,
Dun,
I thought
dun,
about that the
dun.
whole
We're going
time.
on an adventure like the Goonies. Booby trap.
It's our time down here. Down here, it's our time.
It's going to be the
Get
guy
out of
the
my
drug
brain.
den. It's like, also look out for the
Sloth.
Hold on, let me rewrite why the lower chamber has a pirate ship and water.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Me,
And it's
drunk.
Rhapsody's old ship. That's,
That's fantastic.
Sloth is a multi-class bard barbarian.
I can see that.
I like it.
You guys. So, we got about 5 minutes left
Yeah.
of this. So, how did you guys feel about those 3 episodes? How did you feel about them?
I think they were good.
I liked him. I liked him because, one, I felt like one of them was about me. So
It's always nice when it can be like your backstory moment.
hold your autographs till the end. And then I liked the others because they were also about me, how I was blind and killing spiders. But no, I liked it because of that, because it was a unique tactics for that combat of
Yes.
we're being poisoned and they have conditions on them.
Yes.
And that was fun. It's you don't see that much a lot.
Yeah.
Sometimes, and so it's cool to see that.
And
Yeah.
then we had to figure out how to get to Sable, to help
Yes.
Sable out, but how to deal with these spiders.
Yeah. What was the deal when I said go that way, Sable's in there. And Moxie was like, I'm going this way, but not because you told me to. I'm a free independent woman, and I feel like walking this direction on my own accord. What was all that? It was
Because she's an independent woman.
Yeah.
There's nothing
party member.
wrong with her.
There's another party member in there dying. Help them. Well, I'm not going to because a man told me.
That's right.
I'm just saying.
Sorry, Connor, but your character died because of feminism.
Honestly, I get
No,
it.
I think it's less that. It's more of like you assumed that like, and I say you, and I don't mean you, Johnny,
I
but
know.
like
Right,
it's
right.
you, August assumed that Moxie wasn't going to, that she only is going to because you pointed it out, that she couldn't tell that Connor or that Sable needed
August
help.
couldn't see. For all he knew, y'all couldn't hear.
Like,
I don't know what spider venom does. I would have bit you in the earlobe.
So, like most men, you were just
well,
blind.
and what's really fun,
Yeah.
That's the
Selective
situation.
blindness.
what's really fun is that this
Mansplaining this battle.
comparatively between campaigns, this campaign we are much less meshed
Yeah,
in
we are.
combat
Yes.
than
Yeah.
than we were in previous ones,
Yeah.
and that's a side
Because we
effect
don't
of
spend
that.
enough time. Our characters
Yeah.
have not spent nearly
And
as much
so-
time. as we
Campfire
would've.
scenes.
We need to go on a bonding road trip.
Well, I mean, just
Character
I
We spend a
think-
lot of
yeah.
times with NPCs.
yeah.
I think we also just don't spend enough time in combat together.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? So
That's
like
been
we
true.
can bond and be best friends all we want, but that doesn't mean that we can fight together effectively.
True.
Yeah.
And actually, I think it showed when we were exploring that we knew each other a little bit better in that
Yeah.
situation than we did in combat.
Yes.
Because letting Connor or letting Sable go 30 feet ahead of us, like, okay, we know we need to hold back so that Sable can do Sable's roguey things. But then when we in combat, it's like, yeah, we're not meshing quite as well as we possibly could.
We're not trusting each other to do the thing that needs to be done
Yeah.
and to like assess the situation.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it was more of that and less of feminism.
Yeah, but I did like when I realized that, okay, I had to go buy
fun to
you
push
to go
buttons.
to try and help Sable, and come on, August, we got to go say Sable, spider.
You're right.
What the hell is that?
Also, like you're like, it's like follow me. Or you didn't say that, but it was like I'm still here, not being able to see anything. Go forth and kill.
That's right. Follow my voice. Don't worry about the spiders that are crawling on your side.
Everyone abandoned me. I'm blind and surrounded by spiders. But go help Sable. That's the true champion. That's the true champion right there. So again, I like that episode because it was about me.
So
Very nice.
we are getting close to the end here. I think we just want people to become patrons.
Yeah. And we are getting close to the end. For this little arc, we're going to be doing something special in the coming months too.
Yes.
So keep your ears peeled for that teaser that's coming on as well.
Yeah.
But there is a very strong possibility that in just a few episodes we'll have some wonderful cliffhanger.
That's
We
right.
might have a couple in between, but
It's going to be interesting. So keep tuned to the station, and if you know anyone out there who likes Dungeons and Dragons podcast, turn them on. We have a new intern, and her kids.
Yes.
Her kids like play Dungeons and Dragons. I
Nice.
said, do they listen to Dungeons and Dragons podcasts?
there you go.
And they go, well, she goes, I don't know. I said, well, you should turn them on to Red Dirt. And they live
There
in
you go.
Texas. And so
Let 'em
she
know.
did, and now they listen to Red Dirt DnD. So
There we go.
Those kids.
I know. kids in their podcast nowadays.
That's right. Back in my day, never mind. So share with your friends, share with your neighbors, share with strangers, post it on social media. Let everybody know
Yeah.
about the Red Dirt Network and all the great stuff we have going on. So
Woohoo! Bring it to an end, Rick.
there we go. Well, this has been fun. I am going to go plan to kill some player characters.
Excellent.
I'm Brooke Bullock.
I'm Michael Cross.
I'm Johnny Payne, and I'm ready to RPG.
Kiri Hester.
Yay!
Connor Shenold.
Yay! Bye-bye!
If you like podcasts, listen to us.
Wait, weren't they all ready?